So my name is Adiele Greatman. I've spent the last 7 years doing content marketing for different brands across digital, tech, health, travel space, agriculture, as well as finance and crypto. So yeah, currently I'm a Web3 consultant. Yeah, it's quite an interesting journey on LinkedIn. I remember joining LinkedIn some years ago, probably 4 years now. Not sure, but I'd have to go and check again. 2018, 2019. I'll do the calculation offline. Joined LinkedIn. I couldn't understand my way around it at first. I think it's everybody's challenge. When they get on LinkedIn, they don't understand it. And then I was pulled into the flux of, trying to do what everybody was doing, being intimidated by, happy to announce I have a new job, happy to announce I'm the CEO, I'm happy for this, happy for that. And then at that point in my life, just coming out of school, I was just grateful to have graduated. So it's not until I had a LinkedIn masterclass with Faith Mobia, and I really understood how to optimize my profile, for whoever I was attracting, understanding my why for being on LinkedIn. And also that gave me like the platform for which I could now start building my personal brand around, the kind of content I wanted to push out, the kind of people I wanted to attract. And, for time, I've had like several jobs, from LinkedIn. I think 90% of all the jobs I've gotten in the last couple of years have been from LinkedIn. And it hasn't been me applying for those jobs. It's been the jobs, just reaching out to me. Oh, we saw your profile. Oh, we think you're a good fit for this role. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far. For me, I didn't have an expectation in terms of followers. I just wanted a job. And my friend had told me LinkedIn is a place you go and, there are job creators there are CEOs there you have to connect with and all of that. So it was like, broke guy getting on LinkedIn, trying to look for like ways that he can make money, off the platform. And I won't lie, the first couple of months was quite frustrating. I actually dumped it. Like I was like, this thing is not working. Right. I think in the first few months, I hadn't even gotten up to 500 followers. Right. And then I just left the platform, and not until I got the invite for the masterclass, and, Faith Mobia really shared some helpful insights that kickstarted my journey, and I just kept growing. I remember when I got my first 500 connections, when it became 1,000, and before you knew it, we just kept growing, and we are almost at 20,000 followers. So it's, like I say, it's so interesting. In the first 3 months, I was seeing results, and that was because before then I didn't have an optimized profile. Okay. I didn't understand the way things were written and posted on LinkedIn. The way you post on other platforms is not the same way you post on LinkedIn. I didn't understand like your post must have a core message. Like I really understood like how social selling worked, and how you could like write, content that actually persuades people to a particular action, how you could like share your journey, and not just sharing your journey, but you're sharing it with a goal in mind for your audience. So whoever was reading that particular content has like a core message is taking home and has a particular like call to action. So this, small tweaks, understanding how to like position your profile, putting out your experiences, even if you didn't have a job, you could put out like extracurricular activities you've been doing in school. Say you are someone that just recently graduated from school, and I had like a bunch of like extracurricular activities I was doing, in school before I graduated. So like I just took the time, one weekend and just designed my profile. And yeah, it was easy to be visible. I remember going for an interview and the CEO said, "Oh yeah, I know you from LinkedIn." And it was a good, you know, it was a good incentive for me. And it was also something that set me apart from other candidates because I already had a brand, on LinkedIn, and that really helped me, get that job. So I think it wasn't as much as the posts because I can't remember most posts I've done in the last, couple of years. But it was that for the first time, a company reached out to me via my inbox, and that had never happened before. I know I didn't get that job, but for the fact that my profile had gotten to some recruiter that was looking for a job that was relating to my niche, that was like, that told me that, okay, I was doing something right. So I just doubled down on it. What I do is I always revamp my profile. Like the same profile you see this year is not the same profile it was last year. It's not the same profile it was like the years behind.
Yeah.
What has really helped me in on LinkedIn has been that I look at people that are doing very well in my space, and I look at their profile and I look at what I can do better with my profile that they have done better, on their own profile. So I go there, I mirror what they've done, and I try to do something similar on my profile, depending on their results. Or I'm talking to a friend of mine and, he's getting more job offers on LinkedIn. And then I look at his profile, I look at, okay, what is he doing, better than, I'm doing. And it's really helped me to tweak, one or two things on my profile. And the marketing space is always evolving. So you just have to be on top of your game. Your profile, the same profile that attracted, recruiters, in the past, it's always evolving. So you have to keep, tweaking your profile. You have to keep maintaining, your personal brand on that platform to stay relevant. My first 1,000 followers. So I remember I used to send out connections so what I did, after the masterclass was I sent out connections to people I wanted to hire me. I sent out connections to people that I admired what they were doing, and I wanted to keep seeing their content, right? So this set of people were people I kept sending out connections to. And then I kept interacting with, top influencers. Back then it was Lindsay. Some of them are really big guys now. Ocherites, Fitz, Mwabia, and a couple of these LinkedIn influencers. And I would comment relevant words on their posts, and I would see that okay, couple of people liked my comments, and then I would proceed to repurpose those comments to posts, and then I try to mention those guys, and they will be kind enough to interact with my posts. So the more I did that, the more I just kept seeing connections coming, and before you knew it, I passed the 500 connections mark. Before you knew that, I passed the 1,000 connection mark. I remember I did thank you 1,000 followers, and that particular, so that's another thing. You have to keep celebrating your milestones on LinkedIn, because that particular post I did about thank you, and I think it got me an extra 100 or 200 new connections, because it was like a community. When I posted it, I remember mentors had reached out to LinkedIn, telling them that I need your help on LinkedIn. So I reached out to a couple of guys LinkedIn to help me understand what I was doing better or what I wasn't doing better on the platform. So when they saw the 1,000 followers, they would always comment, and when they comment, it takes the post to their timeline. Their followers commented, interacted with the post, And, before you know it, the post like really did well, and I got, some good connections from there. So one thing that's really helped me is, the power of storytelling, effective storytelling to like share the journey. Like if you go back on my LinkedIn, you see that the whole time all I do is like share about my journey. I got this new job, this is what I'm doing in my new job, this is how I'm, interacting with my colleagues, this is how, the workplace is for me, and it's quite interesting because I have a lot of people that followed my journey on LinkedIn, and I still see people to this day, and they come out to me and like, wow, your journey has been quite inspiring, and all that. So it's been like an interesting and entertaining journey, by and large. Be some, posts you make, and then you just get like 1 or 2 likes, and you're like, am I doing this, right? And you'd spend so much writing a particular post, and it doesn't do so well. And then there's a post that you just, crafted in like 5 minutes, and it's so relatable, and people are interacting with that post, and you're like, I don't know what I did right here. So you try to recreate the same thing, and it doesn't still work, the next day. So one of the things I remember was there's a time I transitioned off my job, and I wanted to take the next 3 months to sort of find a new job, and I decided to like go, aping on LinkedIn and just, grow and see what I can, get from there. I remember I got a couple of job interviews, and they never go back to me like after the interview. So it was a bummer. The strategy was working, but I couldn't get a job. So, but I still remain grateful, for the journey, until I got, my biggest job off LinkedIn. So yeah, the challenge for me was, sometimes you don't have the strength to make those posts. That's one. Okay. Sometimes you make the posts, and then they don't, perform so well. And something I learned later was trying to build an offline community while building an online community on LinkedIn. I realized that the people that got recommended for jobs were people that were networking both on and off LinkedIn, and not just, keeping the brand on LinkedIn and not trying to interact with people, in real life. And I think that was a game changer for me, because I remember when I got my first Web3 job, it was a blend of someone I'd met on LinkedIn, and we had like a meeting in real life, and I'd done this event where I was a social media lead in Owerri, social media fest. So I led a team of 11, people, and, we got the first edition of the event done, and I shared about that journey on LinkedIn. So let's say in 2 months, the job came. The person I met offline, recommended me for a job. I just reached out to me. I was like, hey, I know you're out of a job. Would you want, this particular job? And I was like, sure, I'm not doing anything. He said, send your CV. So I sent my CV over, and turns out like it was like a big job. And that was the job I got with Binance. And it was just someone that referred me because we had like an offline meeting, and we really connected, off LinkedIn. And it was quite interesting because the interviewer, for the job referenced a post that he saw on my LinkedIn where I talked about the team I led, 11-man team for the social media, for that event. And it's like, oh, I see that you have this leadership ability to lead this team. That makes you like an ideal person for the role. And I was like flabbergasted. And, that's like one of the stories I like to share a lot, because it shows the power of networking, and it also shows the power of sharing your journey, sharing your story, at every point in time. And that's how, it helps, a lot of professionals get better at what they do, and also, get those positions that they dream about. Is very, very, very effective, in terms of driving a commerce, or in terms of persuading, people that you want to attract for whatever project it is. So the template I use that's really worked for me is I first state a problem, and then either I will aggravate that problem in the next, say, sentence or the next paragraph, and then I talk about the solution. So it goes like this. Let's say I'll give you an instance. Let's say I'm trying to close a company that needs, a content marketer. I can come and say, one of my connections, shared with me a problem she was having with her business and how she wasn't able to attract the right kind of audience, for her business. That's like the challenge. And I said, okay, I know most businesses have this problem, and we understand that most businesses, tell the right message to the wrong audience or share the wrong message to the right audience. And what I've noticed that has worked over time for me and clients that I serve is that we are able to reach our customers with the tailored message for them wherever they are in their, marketing journey. And what this has effectively done for us is that it has helped customers to, know who we are. It keeps us, top of mind, gives us top of mind awareness with our customers. And essentially, most of them, come to interact with the brand and also, convert and buy our product. So what I've done there is I've simply stated a problem, aggravated the problem, and then I share that solution. So you can still do it in terms of personal development. You can say, starting out on LinkedIn, I didn't realize that I wasn't telling my story the right way. And it was hurting the community around me. I wasn't able to interact with people in sharing relatable moments. So what I did better was I started to tell stories about my journey, but I was very, very, attentive to telling, one message and sticking to that message and making sure that my audience had a core message from my journey. It's been an interesting journey so far, and sharing about this has really helped us, do better. And, that's just one of my strategies I use to tell a story that, actually converts really well for me. Some weeks I can do 5 posts in a week, some weeks 3 posts, but I think, you have to find out what works for you. Some creators say you have to post every day, and if it works for you, quite fine. Some people post 3 to 5 a week, but me at most I do 3 to 5, a week. And it's really about sharing the journey and just networking with people. So I think in this stage of my LinkedIn journey, I'm more about connecting with people off LinkedIn and building a community. Yeah. So we are human. I've had a week I didn't post, and that week I was like, oh, I'm going to make this post. In fact, the post was even in the draft, and then I moved to, let me try to make the post, to sound correct. Then I'm like, how this post is not appropriate for a Friday. This post is not appropriate for a Wednesday. Okay, let me wait till next Monday and then I end up not posting, that week. So one thing that really kills our drive as creators is procrastination. So I think a solution there is that we can always automate our posts. I think LinkedIn has a place where you can just schedule your posts. So I can just come in the beginning of the week and just schedule different posts I want to go out that week, and then I just leave it. I just come back to interact with the comments. And that we're in sensitive times, so I try as much as I can to stay off sensitive topics, and I try to respect the reputation of the platform and not bring I understand that Twitter and LinkedIn are 2 different places, so we can't bring Twitter behavior to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is more corporate, and I try to maintain that decorum. So if someone is being rude in the comments, I'll try as much as I can to respond diplomatically, or I just don't respond at all. Nothing says I have to like respond. Because of the work I do, and growing into like management role in content marketing, it's taking away the time to like create for myself or for what I love. So it's been quite an interesting journey trying to like balance the two, having time to create for my personal brand and having time to like create for the companies I serve. So I'd had like a very interesting afternoon, and I decided to like just shoot content based off a video I liked. And yeah, I was quite like amused that people could relate to that particular content. I mean, so I try to like share more relatable content that will get people to like share their stories as well. That was like the goal of that content. At first, when I started, networking activities, I go to like events and I reach out to people. I reach out to the speakers. I reach out to people I'm sitting, beside, and all of that, and I ask, oh hi, my name is this. I introduce myself. I say what I do. I ask them what, they do as well, and I realized that particular pattern, like it worked at first, but it wasn't a good connecting strategy. I'd explain. So we are all used to going to events and always like sharing our business cards, and people interact with you. Oh, I'm doing this, but you don't realize that at the end of the day, hundreds or thousands of other people are doing the same thing that you're doing, right? So I tweaked that strategy and into a new strategy that has been working for me over time. And it was something I learned from, I think, How to Win Friends and Influence People, where it says just be genuinely interested in people. So I can go to an event and I meet, let's say, a speaker, and I walk up to you. I just find something other than your demeanor, something other than what you do, and then I try to strike up a conversation that both of us will be genuinely interested in. I'll give you an instance. I remember going for an event and one of the speakers had these cool sneaks, and I liked the sneaks. I just literally walked up to him, at the networking stage, and I told him, hi, I like your sneaks, and he simply brought it off his feet and like, do you want it? And then we had like a good laugh, and I still, connect to him to this day because it was an icebreaker, and we could talk something that wasn't, relating to like work and all of that. So I think one networking strategy that, has really worked for me is being genuinely interested in people, like being genuinely interested in building a friendship. If it translates into, work or into referral, all good and fine. But even if it doesn't, you have a friend, no matter what. So I have a lot of people that, I've met off LinkedIn, and, we hang out, like we actually like go out, like, and we talk about different things, the crypto space, work, life in general. And, these people have, become an integral, part of my life and the business that I do. Of course, if there's a job opening, and any of them have like, that job opening, they would always reach out to me if it's within my purview, or ask me anybody in my network that, is interested in that role. So yeah, that's like a core networking, strategy that has really worked for me. So I'd say I would implore, more people to, try that strategy, just beyond, oh, nice to meet you. Like try to like find the middle ground, between yourself and the person that's you're networking with, and really have like a good conversation. I've tried it, it's not my thing. I'm sure it works for a lot of people, but I take my networks off LinkedIn. Like if I want to connect with you, I literally say, "Oh, are you on WhatsApp? Can we, talk?" And then I bring them to my platform. I think what works for me most times, I might not be able to reach out to you, but I upload on my status a lot. I upload, a lot of relatable content, and people are always, relating with me based off what they've seen, from my status. They understand like what's going on at any point in my life, and they feel like they're also part of my journey. So I just use that form of storytelling to like stay in touch with my networks. So yeah, I just try to like keep my connections on LinkedIn. Found that at the core of every growing brand, at the core of every powerful brand, is an authentic story, right?
Okay.
Once you can understand that your story is your gift to the world, your journey is your gift to the world, it takes a different form of its own in that you are able to share the story and people relate with it. So someone can read your first post and then read your second post, and then at the 20th post, the person feels like, he knows you. So what you've done is slowly but steadily, you've been able to build like a personal brand. You've been able to build a community of people, that understand your personality, that understand who you are, and understand what stage you are in your journey. So what that helps you do is that people will literally reach out to you. Let me give you an instance. Let's say I'm starting content marketing for the first time. I'm simply going to come on LinkedIn and I'm like, "Hi guys, I'm new here on LinkedIn. I'm committing to 6 months of learning content marketing. Please, if you're good in this space, what can I learn? Can you share tips that has worked for you on this platform and what hasn't worked for you? I'm eager to learn." And before you see it, people come to your post. You will see people commenting for reach. You will see people commenting tips. And you come on week 2 and you say, "Here is where I am. I understood this. I learned this. I took this course," And maybe at the end of your course, you come and say, "Hey guys, I just finished taking this course. I'm happy to intern at any company. Please, share this post to your friends. I'm grateful for the help." And you see people genuinely share your content. You even see people that will reach out to you, to offer you a job. I've seen it happen countless times on LinkedIn, because you have to understand that at the end of the day, the person on the other side of LinkedIn is also a human being. And as human beings, we are good with sharing. As human beings, we always share. As human beings, we have that soft touch, for someone's journey. And you understand that people can't help you. People can't understand where you are or understand how to even begin to help you if you don't share your story. So that's why like storytelling is a very big tool for me on LinkedIn. If you're, let's say, doing video content, I use CapCut a lot. I used CapCut in the initial time I was doing LinkedIn and graphic design. I was using Canva. So these have been like really great tools you can use for doing videos, carousels, depending on the content format you want to like be sharing, on LinkedIn. So these are just the few tools that have really worked for me. I'd always wanted to be a video editor, but I didn't have the time, and I didn't have, like, it wasn't so much a desire, right? So when I discovered CapCut for the first time, I was overzealous. I was like happy to like join the platform, and I posted some of my videos, even if I didn't, get some of them. But over time, as I kept playing around the tool, I understood like how, CapCut works. I think something that has really helped on LinkedIn, on TikTok rather, is you can literally search CapCut tutorial on TikTok, and you see a lot of creators that do how-to guides on, different features on CapCut. So I find myself most times, saving some of the posts and trying out some tutorials that I learned, and I like the post I did on LinkedIn was one of them. So yeah, I like to like play around like CapCut and produce amazing content. I remember my first job as a digital skill trainer, and this was coming right off school. I attended this event, Startup South. It was happening in Owerri at the time. And so I attended that event. I wore my best clothes to look like a CEO. I think it was happening for 3 days or 2 days. I can't remember. But I attended that event and I met a friend of mine. He's my very good friend today, Atat Charles. So he's like a journalist and also a digital skill trainer. And over time, we started, talking, we exchanged contacts, he reached out to me on WhatsApp. So we attended another event, and that was early January 2019, or February, I can't remember the particular date, but we attended, another event, and, I now opened up to him. I'm like, hey, I see that you're doing, this skill trainings and all of that. How can I, get in on it? And I'd released my first book, and the book had done amazing volumes, but I still needed to have job experience and all of that. Yeah. And so he shared with me, some tips, and he shared with me some courses I needed to take. So I went to take those courses. I remember Fundamentals of Google Digital Marketing, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing by Google. I took that course, and I took several courses on paid ads and Google Analytics. And then he referred me to the first job, and they looked at my certificate and they're like, okay, I was qualified for that role. So that's how I became a digital skill trainer. And I went across different cities in Owerri, Enugu, Abia State, Lagos. And I did some digital skill trainings, and I got paid, for those trainings. And I came on LinkedIn and I shared about, my journey as a digital skill trainer, and it's sparked off, the conversation. So I understood that it's not about, it's not about just having anything to share. You have to have something relevant to share. Whether, you did this small job or you did, a big job, what's the lesson you have from it that you can share that shows your authenticity? So I was sharing my challenges on, that job. I shared how many businesses I was able to help, teach them about these digital tools. I think throughout the course of that training, I taught 3,000 to 5,000, businesses on leveraging digital tools, helping them set up Google My Business pages, and all of that. And it really gave me some authenticity on LinkedIn. So I remember attending another event. This event I was training the audience on leveraging digital tools. There were a couple of students and another speaker. I think that was Adiele Excel. I remember he had a company I wanted to, apply to. I remember I'd applied and they hadn't responded to me. So I just finished my session. He finished the session. So during the networking part, that's why I say networking is very important. I walked up to him and I'm like, hi, sir, I love what you're doing with the company. This is what I do. I'm happy to, connect with you further and all of that. And he just, responded to me and oh yeah, we actually have an interview. I didn't even let him know that I'd applied and, I wasn't selected. So he just told me to come to his office and, I came to his office, the next day and I started work the next day. So that's the power of networking. And that's how I got that job. I think I was in that job for almost 3 years. And, I was able to do so much, with that role and able to share my journey. I remember I taught them, all I knew about LinkedIn. I remember most of my colleagues had opened LinkedIn for the first time, and had shared different strategies that worked for me. And a lot of them are doing, well and have gotten great offers, from LinkedIn. So I shared that journey and I just kept, sharing it until I transitioned to my next, job. And I kept, sharing those stories. So it's a journey, right? So you get the role, you share about the journey, just keep a lifelong journey. So that's for me, what's important. I keep sharing those stories and I keep, connecting to the audience. I keep sharing what's relevant to them and also helping make their own journeys better. For my recommendations, I've gotten from people I've worked with, I've gotten from managers I report to, I've gotten from like CEOs I've also worked with. So I understand it's very important, the kind of recommendations you get. You don't just get recommendations from anybody. Like your recommendations have to come from like a credible source. So my line manager, I can literally reach out to him. I'm like, please give me a recommendation, for the role I've played like in the company. And I got some of that, and I'm really grateful for those. So first things first, you have to like be industrious. Like I can't just recommend anybody that sends me a message, please give me a recommendation. I won't do that. I recommend, people that I've actually worked with. I recommend people that I genuinely know that these guys are, gonna do well in whatever they set their mind to do. And I recommend mostly people I know and I've worked with. It's important, that you understand that, you have a reputation as a brand, and people would also reach out to you if, the people that you recommend, don't really do well. So I'm careful about, where I put my name on. I think I was talking to my brother the other day, and I let him know that the journey is not so linear. There will be a point you'll be so overwhelmed and you'll be like, this strategy is not working. But you have to understand that you have to keep staying the path until it all makes sense. Being on LinkedIn and trying to be relevant is a marathon. There will be some days that it's just not in you. You want to like abandon it. Understand that the likes of us that have, been successful, it doesn't mean that it worked for us overnight. There were also times where we were discouraged on LinkedIn. There have been so many times, we wanted to dump it. In fact, myself, I left the platform before I came back and say, okay, let me try to like get something better. So once you have it in your mindset that it's a journey, it doesn't matter the amount of likes, the amount of comments you're getting, whether it goes viral, whether it doesn't go viral. You're on the course, you're sharing about your journey, you're connecting with people genuinely, and you're making a name for yourself. You might not see it in the first 3 months, you might not see it in the first 6 months, but the more you keep doing it, the more you keep optimizing your processes, before you know it, you're doing so well for yourself. And then you now snap into reality and you're like, wow, I'm here, and you now become grateful for the process. Like it's easier when you look back and you see how the journey has been, but sometimes in the moment you don't realize how much you're really contributing to the process. So yeah, I just advise people to like stay the course. From the earliest time, having so many followers have never really changed my life. I still have the same set of friends I had before I had those followers. I recognize that mostly it's just business. The people I connect with, that become genuine friends, we can build relationship off of that. But otherwise, I live my life as mildly as I can. I see people at events, we talk and we connect. But other than that, my life is normal. It hasn't really changed, the quality of my life. Yeah, so the journey has improved the quality of my life in that nowadays I'm able to share deeper content than I used to share when I started the journey. Now I'm more about sharing how the workplace works, dynamics, in the workplace for a young professional. I'm all about advising younger people, starting their journey on LinkedIn or in any space, how they can just like advising them on advices that I would have gotten, if I had someone looking out for me. So I'm trying to be that person for the younger people, coming up, in the tech space. what you're going through, it's not that deep. It will pass. You know, it's a big achievement. It's not that deep. So it just keeps you like in a flow, and you're not so bothered by mishaps or by happenings. You just ground your mind, and yeah, you keep moving. So I have a lot of philosophies, but this is one I can share for today. Like I said earlier, one is not that deep. Two, try to stay the course. It will get overwhelming. There's nobody on LinkedIn that's made it that never had a time that it was overwhelming. In those moments, do what you simply can. Don't stress your mind over, the guys that, are having like the big box. Your journey is your journey. Your time will come. Just keep staying the course. If you need any advice, I'm Adiele Greatman on LinkedIn. Always reach out to me, and I'm always able to advise and also like give my 2 cents wherever you want it. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Have a great time.